And we are live. Yes, uh hi everybody. You okay? I have an extra inhaler in here if you need it. Um what another funny thing I was just telling Yamano about the crazy technical difficulties and stuff that have beset us this week. And it's aggravating. But here's the other funny thing. Because I have a water lily that's in a little pond, in the backyard. And actually, if you were to see the exclusive video for April, I kind of did a tour of some of the outdoor shriney things that I have, including that water lily. Well, it actually flowered for the first time in 10 years. And I was like, oh, great. We'll actually be able to put a water lily on the offering plate. Well, funny thing about water lilies, and I will show you guys, because here it is. It's closed up. And so, yeah, there it is. It's a little bud. It would be it's a hardy lily, and pink lilies are really popular around here. I'd love to get an Egyptian blue lily, but those are tropicals and a lot harder to get to grow than these guys. I took a picture of it because during the daytime it opens up, and so you have these really pretty pink petals and a gold center. And so I'll hopefully you can. Oh yeah, here you go. So you can see it. And I turned some extra light on to see if I could maybe coax it to open back up, and no, it's not wanting to do that. But what I'm hoping is that tomorrow during the day it'll open up, and so we'll have it. We can actually offer a water lily. Now, when you think about it, it's easy to see how this became a symbol of the sun god if you consider that they open up at dawn and they close up at night. And that also suggests that there might have been sometimes when you see little lily buds being offered in paintings and reliefs, there might be some added symbolism to that because it's closed right now, symbolizing, night, perhaps death. But the promise of rebirth, because when the sun comes up the next morning, it will open up again. So, an interesting thing to find out. And if I can encourage it to flower throughout the summer, maybe for Egyptian New Year's, we can, because that'll be during the daytime, we can actually offer an open water lily with.
We may just have to film it in situ.
No. The thing is, if we cut it during the daytime and then set it on the plate, it'll be open. It'll be there. It's just when it gets to close to evening time, it's going to close back up again. So
that one's not going to open up again.
It will in the morning. Okay. Is what I'm thinking.
We hope.
Well, there are other flowers. There's some native flowers around here, like a spiderwort. That's another one I noticed. That it has those little purple flowers. They close up in the afternoon, but in the morning they open back up. And
will they do it even once you cut them?
Yes, because I have cut some and offered them here, and they close up at night, but then they open, during the daytime. So. It must not be, how much light they're getting. It must be, some kind of a timing thing, so, and this is what it looks like, so, just make that blue. And this would be like many an offering, on ancient Egyptian offering tables. So we'll set it over here. So fun little science lesson, I guess. Oh, that's really cool. Kirsten Rive says, I have a cactus at home, and the first time it bloomed was on my birthday. That's really cool. So, yes, please leave a like on your way in. And Spicy Phoenix shared some good news with us. Sister's baby was born healthy on April 27th.
Yay. So. I saw something, and I don't know if this was today, but if anybody's familiar with the actor Dick Van Dyke. He is 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
he was seen holding his great-great-grandson,
Great-great-grandson.
who was born either on his birthday or just after.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
He's sitting there holding that baby, and he's 100.
That is wonderful. That is a blessing. I hope Mr. Cullen gets to do that.
Me too.
Because I remember we asked him, what advice he had, because Darren was about to turn 50. He said, plan for the next 50. So my prayers that he gets to do that too. So let's see if we can get some good things started. And actually, our cookie for tonight actually came out of the box, randomly while I was, filling up our basket. So I figured that's our cookie for tonight. So I'm going to dim this light just a little bit here. That's going to there we go. Yeah, so we've got a little extra light. But, of course, tonight we're honoring the revealing the face in the House of Neith. Now, this is something that was inscribed on the walls in Esno. So it's something that was celebrated there and seemed to be similar to a festival in Sais, which was kind of a sister city, that was opening the doors of the House of Neith. So this must have been, and if you think about it, because the opening of the doors was close to the date of our Christmas, and this is 5 months later, so and this is might want to check your volume there. So there might have been a midpoint sort of significance to it, but that's why we have Neith, and she has Sobek to one side and Tutu at her feet. And, of course, we will enshrine Maud alongside her as we go along. So, I had also picked a lily pad from the water lily. But even when I put it in the water, I noticed those tend to go limp really quick. So it's trying to curl up. But that is a lily pad from our water lily. Can you see it? Okay, and I'll bring it over here so you can see our lily pad. Yeah. And there's a frog that lives somewhere out there, and whenever I come out there, I just see kind of a blur as it hops and dives into the pond. So, and it's also where the bird feeder is, so they come and they hang out, and I've actually seen them go and take a bath in the lily pond. I think they perch on a lily pad and they take a bath. So it's really cute to watch. Okay. There we go. Let me adjust some. There we go. Okay. So let's get started. These cool waters are on my hands, and they purify me as Tefnut purifies me. Hail unto you, O Unaturu. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands, our purity is within our hearts, and we have cast out all evil that pertains to us. We're pure, we are pure, we are pure, we are pure. Hey, that wasn't so bad.
I expected that water to be colder, especially given that it's either just rained
Or it's probably going to rain tonight.
It's funny. I just checked the weather and they said, Shreveport rain is about to stop, and I'm like,
I think we're gonna have some because our little munchkin was kind of a pill today and complained a lot. She wanted to go outside and graze, and that suggests to me that there's some weather coming. She wanted to go out before the weather came in. And, she's finally tucked in and sleeping, but she was complaining all afternoon and all evening. So that little web-footed weather barometer suggests to me that we're going to have some rain later. So I said, I love my little munchkin, but today she was driving me crazy. But so was everything else. So it's not her fault. Oh yeah, B, don't worry about being late. I was getting late. I was late getting started. Yeah, Xanthos, I noticed you're saying that you finished school.
congrats.
Home from graduation. It's an associate degree in early child education. Congrats.
Well, don't associate too hard tonight, or do it in degrees, would you?
Oh, good. And Moonchild, I'm having a bad day. My sibling Jesse, who moved in with us 4 months ago, leases tomorrow. Leaves tomorrow. Okay, leaves. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that they're leaving, but hopefully they'll stay in close contact.
I hope they're leaving under good circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's sarcastic name, but Mom, I want the wet grass. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of what it was. So. Well, our prayers for you, Moonchild, is that I said that they may be leaving, but they'll be, still close. Still keep you in their heart. So let's see, where are we? Gonna light our candles. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra in all of their abodes, till none remain. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world. To everyone who is tuning in with us now, will be with us in the future, and has joined us in the past. This eye of Horus comes, and we are all purified with it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
And we light our candle for Mama Sekhmet, that she may bring peace and healing to all those who need it. Our friend Jory was concerned about his mom having arthritis earlier this week, so say a prayer for her. And we light our candle for the son of mighty Sekhmet, Mahas, that he may protect everyone who's in the path of weather as we continue to go through spring and into summer. Here in the northern hemisphere, of course, we're transitioning to winter for those who are down in the southern hemisphere. Okay, here we go. You arise in the Archetis Capri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from Nun at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose hiccup goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and hail and praise unto you, O Neith, the Great. Hail and praise unto you, O Yunutru, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his fet. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. Take these, your cool waters that are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. O Yunutru, these waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, O Yunutru, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense great of purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you and cleanses you. It adorns you and takes its place upon your hands. O Yunutru, we give to you this eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. Okay. Try to lift up everything that's in here. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, O Yunutru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. And I also want to include some other offerings that are going to be twice offered. Because, and for those of you that are here in the United States, you might have gotten something like this in the mail, because there's a food drive that they do, and National Association of Letter Carriers, the Postal Service, they participate in this. And basically you fill this bag and you put it by your mailbox second Saturday in May, and they bring it to the local food bank. And now it says bag healthy, non-perishable food items. I've heard people say online that, the healthy, that's well and good, but if you include a few things like a box of cake mix, some frosting, which I have down here, things like that are actually great, because if you have a family that comes to the food bank, they get something like that, that means they can make a birthday cake for a kid, or do something like that. So I've included a few sweets in here, but also some dried milk and some evaporated milk and things like that. It's a big bundle. Um, Other things that apparently are really people don't think to donate, but if you do, then you'll really make somebody's day. Sanitary supplies and diapers. Um, so if those are things that people need, and they get expensive. So if they come to the food bank, if somebody has that, then you could really be a lifesaver for somebody. So we're offering those as well, um, so that they do some good for somebody. The gardens prosper and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, O Neith, O Yunachuru. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. Guess we'll have to arrange our lily pad with everything. There we go. That also suggests that when they would go and they would make offerings and they would put a lily pad on here, that means they were doing it during the day, because the flowers were still open. So now lily pad, water lily. Get that set right. Pure, pure is Ra Horiketi within his house. Pure, pure is Neith, mistress of Sais and Esna, within her house. Pure is Sobek, within his house. Pure are the cause of all of these gods with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure. For Ra, Horiketi, for Neith, for Sobek, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horiketi. Come to your body, O Neith. Come to your bodies, O Yunachuru, and come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Neith, before Sobek. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. Ora Horiketi, and your son, the Osoronisu, Nekapurura. Your foes retreat from you, and Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. And from the table of the gods, the table of the blessed dead, we light this candle, that it may be the eye of Horus that lights their way in Dua. And we pour these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Ore ta henket ka abdus naturha khutnvet nafra waber akhen nashem kawen akhunibu machrenibu chem natra. A voice offering of bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which a god lives, for the cause of all of these blessed dead, all true of voice before the great God. And now we come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased and your Ka shall live. Truly, your Aeneid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Aeneid says unto you, your word is law, eternally. Esfet is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day. And Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. May we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Okay. Oh. That's a great observation, Kristen. The calmest days are always the ones with the most blessings. Yes, activity is exciting, but simplicity brings peace. That is really well said.
Amen.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Oh, and hey, One Eye, welcome. Tell you what, Nene Timir, since you got in a little bit late, I'll go ahead and show you what I started off with, because this is too cool not to share. Because I have a water lily and a little water garden in the backyard that I've had that thing for 10 or 11 years. Because I think I got it in 2014. I know I had done a video in 2015, Grow Like an Egyptian. I had it in there. Well, it never flowered until this week. So it finally did. And I've got a picture of it sitting in the pond, all open and pretty. It's one of those pink ones. It looks like a more vivid version of these silk ones. Well, here it is. So I'll bring it up to the camera again. But what I figured out is that in the late evening, they close up. So let's see if I can get it where you can see it really well in the camera. So here you go. And now there's another one in the lily pond right now. So That's why I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and cut this one because there's another one coming up to replace it, basically. But it decided to close up because it was late in the evening. But I think you can see, yeah, this really nice dark pink kind of color, and that's what a hardy water lily looks like. They can survive freezing temperatures. They just the roots and everything, are under the surface and they're okay. True Egyptian blue lilies are tropicals, and so I would have to overwinter them and hope they manage to survive, and it's kind of complicated. So I managed to get this one to bloom, and hope with me that I can encourage it to keep blooming over the summer, so that when we do our outdoor thing for Egyptian New Year, we can actually put an open water lily, on the offering plate. So that was something cool. But that also says, that again, you can understand why blue lilies were associated with rebirth and with the sun god, because if you think about it, they come up and they open out when the sun comes up, and then they close up as the sun's getting ready to set. And so you have like the image of the sun child on the water lily, and of course the centers of them are yellow. So, that again suggests the sun opening out from the lotus, from the lily. And if you also think about it, I think the chapter, 17 of the Book of the Dead, where it describes the sun washing in the morning in a particular lake. And then you think about the idea that, there's this somewhere at the edge of the world, the horizon where the land of the living meets the land of the dead, and where the sun comes up every morning. Somewhere out there's a marsh, and there are water lilies, just like there are in the marshes that they saw along the Nile. And so they're imagining this water lily opening at the dawn, and the sun emerging from it, and you're right there in the water. So that's where it washes clean at the beginning of the day, and sails across the sky. So it's very poetic and a rich visual image, and symbolism, and it makes more sense when you look at a little water lily growing in a water garden. So I leave you with that image. So. Oh. And so my dream house has a big glass greenhouse with a heated pond for lotuses. I don't know. I guess in your part of the world, yeah, something like that would work really well. Because at least down here, when it gets in summertime, it's like the greenhouse is, like an oven, but what I'd love to have would be one of those like Spanish colonial style houses where you have like the house is built around a courtyard, and so I could have like a water garden, and the thing I'd have to figure out is how would I have a pond for the lilies and the papyrus and not have the duckies get in there and eat it all.
Will.
Yeah. I was looking at a papyrus that I was going to order online once, and Darren, pretending he was the ducks. Thank you, Mama. We'll eat it all. Order some more, Mama. Because that's what they do.
Because they ate one.
No, what they got into was my marigolds and my cornflowers. But,
no, there was a papyrus that they actually...
Well, I put chicken wire around it so they wouldn't get in it. Because I knew they would. Because no dirt is the best dirt.
Yes, it is. Especially for Yotuba.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, she went and she got in some dirt. I was landscaping. She went and she decided to root around in it. And I stood over her. I said, no. And she nibbled my finger and looked at me. I'm like, okay, what do you do? That's why she was our queen of the universe.
I miss my little baby.
Yeah, we miss our Yotuba. Okay. So we will read for me. Hail unto you, O Neith, the great, the one who existed before existence. You who made all that is, who created all that exists. Eldest of the primeval gods, fashioner of Ra, mother of Ra who was at the beginning. Unique one without equal, mistress of destiny, regent of fortune. Earth is under your command. One does not make plans without your knowledge. Queen of the gods in heaven and sovereign of the gods in the earth. Mistress of the bow, regent of the arrow, who keeps the arrow demons under your authority. Mistress of great fear, who created the twin crocodiles. Life and death are under your supervision. You fill sky and earth with your beauty. Light the two lands with the rays of your eyes. You encompass your son as the light of the two lands. Father of fathers, who makes fertile the seed of gods and men. Great cow, who nourishes all things. Mother of mothers, who is like no other. And here's another thought. This occurred to me as I was reading this, actually, because Neith is associated with the Great Flood, which that's the primeval waters. There's embodied as a cow. But here's another thing to think about. If Ra emerges from the water lily, comes out of the water, Neith is the water that the water lily comes out of. So that's, the idea of the, you who made all that is, the fashioner of Ra, who was at the beginning, everything came out of the water. She was the water that came out of. So, a little bit of a perspective for that. And I'll read a couple of other things. Oh, here we go. And since we have some folks that are graduating and that are wrapping up, I think a few folks, depending on how your school calendar works, some folks might be still in finals right now. So we'll read a prayer to Jehuti for you. Come unto us, Jehuti, O noble ibis, O you who love Chemnu, letter writer of the Enid, great one of Yunu. Come unto us who are students, that you may give us advice and make us skillful in your work. You exalt those who heed your wisdom. You give advice to the widow and the orphan. Shai and Renenutet are with you. Come unto us, that you may advise us, for we are servants in your house. Let us excel in our studies, so that we may proclaim throughout the land, great is the work of Jehuti. And then, And Shai and Renenutet are generally translated as destiny and fortune. So destiny and fortune are with Jehuti. All right, I have another one. Yes, this is for Neith, who goes forth. Hail unto you, O Neith the great, mistress of Sais in your going forth, lady of life who opens the ways, eye of Ra which has no equal. You go forth from your house in the 4 hours of night, and the month of Rechneges, to perform your secret rites. For yours is the power to clear all paths. Yours is the power to move all obstacles. Yours is the power to destroy the evil one. Mistress of the East, mistress of the West, mistress of the North, and mistress of the South, heaven and earth are under your command. Holy Mother who gives all life, protect us, O Neith, as you protect your son Ra. All right. And another thing that I'll reiterate for folks who might have joined us, a little further into it, and especially if you're here in the United States, there's something that some communities are doing through the post office. And so if you check your mailbox and you got a bag, basically you fill it with some non-perishable groceries, and they bring it to the local food bank. And so we got some things. They're kind of in a small stack under the table here, and they're going to go, for the pickup, for the local food bank. And it says, healthy, non-perishable food, but they probably get lots of, hamburger helper and boxes of macaroni and stuff like that. Well, I also included some powdered milk and a box of cake mix and some frosting, so that if somebody wants to make a birthday cake for their kid,
or just somebody needs a dose of happy.
Well, yeah, a morale booster or something like that. Because a lot of these families that they come to things like this, they have kids, or they're trying to keep everybody fed and sane through tough times. So diapers and sanitary supplies are another good thing that you can include, because those are things that people need, but often don't get included. People don't think about oh well, hey, in case somebody needs that. So that's going in the donation for tomorrow. So yeah, I noticed a big jump with the comments. Yeah. Oh, and Levis, there's definitely going to be a lot of praying to Judy this exam month. Absolutely. I had a friend, my lovable flaky friend in Florida, who I haven't heard from her forever, but she had pet chickens, and she loved her chickens dearly. But Moonshot says I may have a video date after this. Hey, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, canned meats are also in need. Yeah, another thing I was thinking is, what about things like jerky? Now, if I leave a bag by my food by my neighborhood's mailbox, will they get it tomorrow? Only if they're collecting in that area. So it kind of depends. The thing is, they specifically left a bag that was labeled because they're participating in that here. So for those that aren't able to participate in something like that for tomorrow, try Googling it and see if your area is participating.
But you can give it your local food bank anytime.
Right. Yeah. They're always looking for things, and considering all the stuff that's going on, they could certainly use a boost. So yeah. Yes, products for that time of the month. When I said sanitary supplies, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. And see, for me, the challenge is, okay, I'm trying to make sure I keep some things set aside for us, but the sad irony is that, a lot of times the folks that are the most generous are the ones that, only have so much that they can give. And, the people that have a lot, are the ones that give the least. Although I have to say kudos to Bill Gates for doing what he's done. He's the rest of his fortune is going to be dispersed over the next 20 years to his foundation. And so, that's, may that inspire others to do the same thing. So,
yeah.
That lives up to the wisdom from the Egyptian sages who said, I gave bread to the hungry, I ferried the boatless, I clothed the naked, some men are rich, some men are poor, but food remains for those who share it. So, but with that said, let's see what our fortune for tonight is. And this was a cookie that just randomly fell out when I was filling up the basket. So I figured, well, that's our message for tonight. So, a person is never too old to learn. A person is never too old to learn. Well, you're never too old to go back to school if you decide to. If you have to wait a little while, that's okay. But I think that can mean other things too. So never assume you're set in your ways and you can't learn to do anything different. A person is never too old to learn. So let's see. Go ahead and toss those cookie icons up there, but don't toss your cookies. And yes, the thing about, some churches will run a food bank. It might be a cool thing to do for an IRL temple eventually. Yes. Yeah. And I will tell you something else. Something that I have done in the past, and I tell you what, the flat rate priority mailboxes are a real help in that regard. I have mailed care packages of food to people before, and the flat rate boxes are great because you can put canned things in there and not have to worry about it weighing it down and, oh my god, how much is this going to cost. It's a good flat rate. But what I have wanted to do is, if there's anybody in our group, our congregation basically, that falls on hard times, Mary Draw, you were saying you're worried if the way things are going you might need one. If so, just tell us, and that way we can look out for each other and send each other things that we might need. So I actually did that 20 years ago for somebody who was an ex-friend of mine at the time. It's just, I had seen her at a convention and she was so thin. I could see her jawline and her clavicles, it's like she looked sick, and I felt bad for her. And I had her address because, she had been friends with me at one point. So I got on her, Telnet, a mush. It's kind of like a mud. And posed as, somebody else and was using, somebody else's address. But I basically, found out, kind of what she was doing. I got her address and sent her food packages. And I did that for a couple of years because I felt sympathy for her. And I thought, well, maybe if she was, eating better, then, she would, make better decisions, realize who her friends are and aren't. But ultimately that didn't turn out to be true. But my only regret is that I wouldn't have gotten to see the look on her face when she figured out who it was that was sending her food and care packages. Because I did finally tell her at one point, but I blocked her email so she couldn't, respond and be all angry and everything. But if I did that for her, I could certainly do it for anybody else that needed it. That's the point of the story. So, all right, we're starting with Ashley Spradley from Bass, then Zephus from either Sutek or Sekhmet. And then we've got our Discord cookies. Let's see, 4 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bounce back to those. So there's going to be a little bit of a pause where I won't be able to keep up with the chat while I get the cookies together. But let's start with Ashley. And again, that's from Bast. Ashley Spradley. Embrace the role of a cheerleader in others' lives. Your encouragement matters. So, Ashley, embrace the role of a cheerleader in others' lives. Your encouragement matters. So there's some people that I think she's saying that the things, the love and the encouragement and the things that you say to loved ones or to people close to you, it matters more than you realize it does. So Zephos from Set and or Sekhmet. So we'll ask Mama Sekhmet. And gonna ask Set to go easy on us with the weather. Zephos, your friendships will deepen and grow in September. Your friendships will deepen and grow in September. Okay. All right, so Aloni from Ra and Sobek, and a cookie from Sekhmet from my mom, please. Okay. So Ra and Sobek, they are quite the dynamic duo. So I'll ask for them. One for you. A smile is the most effective medicine. So Aloni, for you, a smile is the most effective medicine. Now, the sense I'm getting is a medicine to give to others. So a smile is the best thing that you can give them. Now, let's see what Mama Sekhmet has for your mom. Your finances will bring you peace of mind. Did she get that last time? Because if so, then the segment is hammering home that message. Your finances will bring you peace of mind. Because I know somebody had gotten that, but yeah. So don't worry about it. Whatever it is, don't worry about it. Mama Sekhmet will provide. Your finances will bring you peace of mind. Okay. So Kristen Rebase from Neith. And then Spicy Phoenix. So ask Mother Neith. And Kristen, I know it's early in the morning for you. So if you have to head out soon, we understand, but your fortune. A dream is just a dream. A goal is a dream with a plan and a deadline. Wow. So again, Kristen, a dream is just a dream. A goal is a dream with a plan and a deadline. So time to start working on plans. And of course, one does not make plans without Neith's knowledge. She's telling you, okay, we know what your dreams are. Start making plans and putting them into action. And so then Spicy Phoenix. And, it just occurred to me because Spicy wanted to say congratulations on your sister's new baby. And I was trying to think, what's we don't have a gender neutral thing for, aunt or uncle, whatever. But then there's one thing I did think about. Story goes that there was some kind of joke that started between my mother and her siblings when I was on the way. And you have to keep in mind, this was at a point before you had ultrasounds and, gender reveal parties and people putting so much into this. It was, you knew when the baby was born, and so that was the gender reveal. And so the joke was, if it was a girl, then my mother's brother would be Aunt Joey. instead of Uncle Joey. If it was a boy, then it would have been Uncle Joey. So it's, I was thinking, do it based on the baby, maybe. So, are you Aunt Spicy or Uncle Spicy? But it's just a thought. But anyway, on this Wednesday, seize the day and make the most of every moment. So on this Wednesday, seize the day and make the most of every moment. Okay, so next is Lisa G from Anapu. And B, please, maybe from Jehuti if he has some advice. Okay. Yeah. And yes, we got to help one another, otherwise we'll all suffer in the long run. And yeah, and it's funny. The Sikhs and Muslims can be very, very generous too. And those there are a lot of folks that really understand how important it is to be generous with what you have. And I think there are good examples. It's just don't put yourself out, in a bad way, just to be charitable. But those of us that what little we have, if we put it together, it's not so little anymore. So Lisa G and then B. So we ask Anapu. Wow, that one just hopped out of there. So from Anapu, Lisa G, trust your instincts this September. Don't know what kind of excitement the Opet Feast is going to bring, but apparently September is going to have a lot of things come to fruition. But Lisa G, trust your instincts this September. And then B, asking from Jehuti. And anyone else who might want to. And then what do you know? You got two. You've got voicemail. For one, kindness is a treasure that enriches the giver. So B, kindness is a treasure that enriches the giver. Now the other one. You will experience a love that is passionate. So B, kindness is a treasure that enriches the giver, and you will experience a love that is passionate. Okay. And by the way, thank you for the super stickers. I have seen a few of those. And Gabriel, from any/all of the gods, please, could I have some prayers for my dogs? 2 of the 3 are elderly and in poor health. And then a prayer for next week. I have a date. Well, Gabriel, you've got a lot going on. And I totally understand with the elderly pets. Yeah, we've been there. Of course, our little munchkin is 13. And so, I'm taking videos and things over because I know that one day I won't be able to anymore. But, you treasure every moment that you have. So we ask Anapu, because, just as cats are Bastet's folk, dogs are Anapus. And we ask him to look after your pets and for them to be able to make the most out of the time that they have with you. And that there'll be lots of love and good memories. As many as possible. So, and your fortune. Yeah, and you got 2 as well. So, of course, like I said, you guys sounds like you got a lot going on. I guess they had a lot to reply to. So, Gabriel, here's your first one. Your friend will lead you to new and exciting experiences. So, hey, that could be a sign of encouragement there. So let's see what this other one says. Follow your own path. You are unique. Now, I really get the strong sense that has to do with like you've been wondering about some things, with your religious path, and which direction do I go? And somebody just answered you. Follow your own path. You are unique. So, Gabriel, that and your friend will lead you to new and exciting experiences. So, enjoy that date. Be adventurous. Be up for, up for anything, I guess. Okay, so Married Wapawet from the Jackals, and then Married Ra from Sekhmet. Oh, nice! A Renaissance Festival in September. Which one? Because I used to go to, I've been a couple times to Texas Ren Fair. That's outside of Houston. And there's another one outside of Dallas. It's in Waxahachie called Scarborough Fair, I think. Yeah. So yeah, Texas has got some fun Ren Fests. Yes, and may Amen of the Road keep all of those who are journeying far from home. May they find safe haven. But Married Wapawet, and then yeah. Okay, yeah, we've been getting a few trolls, I've noticed. Is it just me, or are they becoming a little more? Oh, Ohio Renaissance Festival, cool. Have they been getting a little more noticeable?
Brazen.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna delete that. Yeah. But okay, yeah. Sorry, because we don't want to keep you waiting on Married Wapawet because again, whole time zone thing. But from the Jackals. And again, I'm going to get back to those Discord cookies in just a minute. I'm going to make sure everybody gets what they came for. Okay. Married Wapawet. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Coming from the opener of the way, so that's a rather profound message. And lastly, from Married Ra, this came from Sekhmet. Oh, you got to. By the way, the Shrine Tour video is finally done. If you want to see it now, it's on Patreon. But it will be premiering for everyone on Sunday. And I'm going to try and get it to where I have a little more lead time, so that the folks on Patreon get to see things way before anybody else. Because, hey, that makes it more fun. But in order to do that, I have to get videos finish a little faster, so I'm working on it, I promise. But Mary Ra, your life will be a river of blessings and opportunities. Now, your second one. A new friendship will brighten your days. So, your life will be a river of blessings and opportunities, and a new friendship will brighten your days. Okay. Now let me scroll down a bit here, see if we missed anybody. And again, as always, thank you for the super stickers. Okay, one eye from whoever will respond. Yeah, and I'm with you, sarcastic. Come in somebody else's space and make it all about you. We love you, Spicy. You have a good week. That's not, the harder you try to turn me from them, the more I will worship their greatness. Yes. Yeah. Alrighty. You know what? I think that's a decent idea, sarcastic. And we may have to do that. But let me just catch up and everything. So I'm trying to keep the show rolling here. But yeah. And that's a good observation. So we'll burn some cinnamon. How about that, guys? But first of all, I see Nathaniel N. Let's see, one eye. So one eye, and then Nathaniel, and then a wombat with tunes. I'm digging that, by the way. So start with one eye. One eye. Change is the price of progress. Change is the price of progress. And so I suspect you will know what that's referring to more so than us. But Nathaniel N. from Djibouti. The greatest quality is seeking to serve others. So Nathaniel N., the greatest quality is seeking to serve others. And our last one was for a wombat with tunes. Before we scroll back up to the Discord ones. And we'll see what kind of tunes you've got. Yeah, the swim club behind the yard is getting ready to start up, and so I'm thinking of plugging in my amp in my she shed and practicing obnoxiously. Everything in here. But a wombat with tunes. You will receive a promotion within the next year. You will receive a promotion within the next year. That sounds awesome. Okay, so let's scroll back. And yeah, I'm going to have to go in and tweak some things. And, that was a great suggestion, Sarcastic. I'm going to use that. But we'll start off with our Discord cookies. So we have Lud, Love Deluxe, Sweetie, and Mythwood. So for Lud, oh wow! So I tell Lud that they are the cookie today because this one was empty. So the next one is Love Deluxe. So for Love Deluxe, a dream will always triumph over reality once it is given a chance. A dream will always triumph over reality once it is given a chance. And that sounds that sounds very similar to the other one that we got about a dream's just a dream, but a goal is a dream with a plan and a deadline. So a dream will always triumph over reality, once you give it, what it needs. And again, remembering the words of Optimus Prime, the world was built on dreams. But that's for Love Deluxe. And next is for Sweetie. Got one there. All right, for Sweetie, your inner light shines brightly. Keep it glowing. So don't just keep it going, keep it glowing. Your inner light shines brightly. Keep it glowing. And last one is from Mythwood. And again, if I need to back up and redo any, just let me know. So for Mythwood, your educational journey will be full of surprises and unexpected twists. Your educational journey will be full of surprises and unexpected twists. So they're giving you fair warning, but that's also a way of saying, hang in there. It's going to meander, but it'll be worth it. So our last call for wisdom, y'all. Yeah, so due out to the Eye of Ra. Yeah, and that's a great point, One Eye. Thoughtful conversations, are one thing. It's just somebody coming in here and posting in all caps about accepting Jesus Christ and all that. That's aggravating. Okay, and Son wants one from Osu. Alrighty. And then, yeah. And Mrs. Jackal, prayers of thanks to Lord Anapu for a huge breakthrough with Professor Joseph Wagner and Dua Anapu and Jew on Anubis Mountain 2 weeks ago. Well, you know what? That's really cool to hear because I will tell you this. One other thing. I did a thing. I registered for one of Dr. Zahi Hawas's lectures. He's giving one in New Orleans, in a few weeks. And I was thinking if folks like Mrs. Jackal, are still wanting to know how can they go to someplace like Anubis Mountain and not step on the toes of the active, archaeological dig there, I can try to ask. So let me, I'm going to ask her, let me know if you still need me to ask that. Because there's always plenty of questions and, I don't have pockets deep enough for that exclusive meet and greet that they had. Because if you're willing to shell out $800, you could have a private, Q&A and selfie and all that other stuff with Dr. Huas. I'm like, no, dude, I can do a lot more things with $800 than that. So, no, I just going to show up and, get something signed and, hi, and, trying to ask something, if I get called on. But I would try and ask if somebody wants to know. So, for San from, I think it was from Monica. Your success will be a testament to your resilience. And that's for San. Your success will be a testament to your resilience. So that's an elaborate way of saying hang in there. And you okay, Boo? Okay. And since we'd had some interlopers, if you will, we'll light a little bit of actual cinnamon because this is my cleansing herb. So pure is this house with this good tea ships that is given. Pure the cause of all of these gods with this good tea ships that is given. And pure are all of those who are tuning in with this good tea ships that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. Sekhmet, the eye of Ra, proclaims it. And so it is. And we must have a decent vibe going in here because poor Darren is about to fall asleep. But if anybody else has any other requests before we make our offerings endure. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I said, well, let me go to New Orleans is because, gosh, it's 2009, so that was 16 years ago by now. Time flies when you're having fun. It's funny, the last time I went, I didn't even have my first book published. But even, self-published still. I hadn't even finished, Following the Sun, but Dr. Hawass, did something kind of like what he's doing now, but it was tied in with the Tutankhamun and the Golden Age of the Pharaohs exhibit that was in Dallas at the time. And so, I booked tickets for us, and we were supposed to be down in the front, but Secret Service for Laura Bush preempted us. And so, there were, the guys in the black suits with the dark glasses and the curly earpieces, and they got our front row seats. So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. If she decides to show up again, that gets to be somebody else's problem. We'll go to New Orleans where there's not going to be any Secret Service people. taking our spots. So. All right. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Unu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great Enid, endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Geb at the earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in the shrine of Shenit in Unu endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiamentiu endures. As the name of Asat in Nicheru endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pei endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep endures. As the name of Jehuti in Chamanu endures. As the name of Ra in the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace, O Neith. Sobek. You have come in peace, O Yonotru. May you go forth in peace, O Ra, O Neith. May you go forth in peace, O Yonotru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Manjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. Well, hi there, HD Digitals. You know what? And here's the thing: if you are a Christian, that is perfectly okay. That just as long as you don't come in here trying to convert us, we won't try to convert you. So, or make an issue about you. So, you know that just being here is okay. Anyone's welcome to tune in. Just it's like any other group. Just be polite. And you're welcome to ask questions, and we will answer those questions as best we can. You know, just again, you know, realize that you're in, you know, you're in somebody else's house. You know, be polite, and keep in mind when we recite Ma'at, that's the you know truth and order and how things should be. The last one is you know. May we always respect honor our gods and respect others. And for that's the eighth mod. So, you know, we're not trying to cause a beef with anybody. We're just saying this is our thing. So just don't start something. That's all we ask of anybody. So whether they be, you know, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, you know, any other faith, you know, even atheist, you know, if you know, if you come in here, as long as you don't, you know, accuse us of doing something silly by worshiping deities, you know, multiple ones, then, you know, there won't be any problems. That's how we go. It's mutual respect. So. So, yeah, and that's right. And why Egyptian stuff? Well, you're going to have as many different reasons as there are people here. All of us have it at some point or another. For me, it was I remember seeing. I remember learning about this in sixth grade world history class, and just saw that picture of from the Book of the Dead, and you see Anubis and with the jackal head and all that. I saw that. I was like, this is so cool. I have to learn everything I can about it. And then that summer, my aunt gave me, a copy of the Treasures of Tutankhamun exhibit book, which is as old as I am, which is getting up there by this point. And, I just, then I happened to go see an exhibit, and so I was absolutely hooked on it. Now, I didn't get interested in it as, from the religious aspect until later in life. But it was after I had already been kind of disillusioned with some other things. And then I found basically that there's some ancient wisdom, some things that they said that made a lot of sense. And the morals that they expressed seemed to be the kind of morals that a lot of people around me, people who profess to be Christian, weren't following. They weren't they weren't concerned about the hurt that they did to other people. As long as you follow the go through the motions, they didn't have any spirit to it. But this was something that did. It spoke to me, and I'm sure if you were to ask other people here, they'd all have something kind of similar to that. So that's why. And you're welcome to watch other videos from this channel, and you might learn a little bit more. I'm trying to think if there's one that I can recommend off the top of my head. There's one from several years ago where I talk about my story, and there's also been some interfaith videos that we've done. I think that's a playlist. It's called Kemetic Crossroads. My husband is Christian, and poor thing, he passed out in the middle of this, but we've done some videos together, and so you're welcome to watch those. Again, look for Kemetic Crossroads, and that's where we do some interfaith things. So, and that should be a playlist, So, let me get Sarcastic's cookie. Okay. Sarcastic, success and prosperity are coming your way. Success and prosperity are coming your way. So. Yeah. 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 And the thing is, I'll tell you something else. I was raised Catholic. My grandparents were from South Louisiana, and in Cajun culture, the Catholic Church is very much embedded in way of life and a lot of rites of passage, and they were very active in their church, but that didn't pass on to the next generation, and so my grandmother made sure that I got First Communion and all those other things, but I think a lot of things my father did because he was, still subconsciously somewhere terrified that, if he didn't do it, his mother would, kick his ass, But one of the funny things is, I live someplace that's not in South Louisiana, and there's a lot more Protestants here, and I got, especially in junior high, there were a lot of people that, because that's when a lot of my classmates started doing things like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and they started going to lock-ins and, all these other things. And so then they decide, oh, well, we've got to proselytize to our classmate who's Catholic because she's not part of the right kind, of Christianity, basically. And, I've had a couple of classmates that really were well-meaning. I think, they'd probably gotten energized from, what was going on at their church, and they're wanting to go and invite as many people as they can to come to their service. And I'm like, well, I go to church every Sunday. I go to the Catholic church. And, but you need to really look into, this one. And so, By the time I got to college, I learned to kind of mess with people a little bit about it because it really started to get on my nerves. What do you mean? Just because I'm not the same kind of Christian as you, you've got to give me some grief. Well, let me, I'll deliberately give you funny answers. There were some folks from the Baptist Student Union that came by and asked if I, probably the typical line about, have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior or something like that. And I said, yeah, well, I believe God made Transformers too, and started giving them funny things like that, just to get them to go away because, and see, that's the funny thing. At that time, I was going to the Catholic church that was down the street from the university, and it wasn't until I was in college that I had a crisis of faith. And, there was a long journey, from there. But like I said, it's in some other videos. So I know it's getting late for some people. And, everybody's wanting to get their weekend going. And I thank everyone for being here. And lots of love to all of you. And, join us next week. And, you'll see a notification for, the Shrine video, which is coming up. It'll premiere on Sunday. So. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Hold on. I was just, just kind of catching up a little bit. Yeah, and HD, I appreciate your humility and your honesty, and like I said, you're welcome. As long as you keep that going, and you can hang out with us whenever. So, do the Egyptians believe that God loves them? We certainly do. Very, very much. And the whole thing is, and I know folks are having to head out, and that's cool. You guys have a great weekend. But to try and answer your question, and then again, we're gonna have to wrap up after this. We feel a very close connection, and in my case, I've never felt like the Christian God ever answered my prayers. I felt like I was praying to empty space, but I felt a definite connection with Anubis tends to be the one that introduces a lot of people, which actually is appropriate because one of his roles is actually an initiation. And we can explain that in other videos, but I think I mentioned that in some other ones. But other deities that are on this altar, but particularly Ra, and each of us have connections with different ones. But for me, Ra is definitely a very very close one. And so, if you were to talk to different folks, there are different deities that they feel connection to. And yes, we absolutely do believe that, our gods love us and take an interest in, what we do. And they're not going to judge us just because, we happen to be, different from the mainstream. That's another big piece of it, but again, just catch us next week and we'll answer more questions as we can. So in the meantime, you guys, lots of love and, have a great week. Yes, that's right. Mary Draw. So. Steelers Nation, yeah. Oh, and you got the Steelers colors, awesome. Hope you were able to enjoy, and tune in with us. Okay, all right. Well, and HD, I know you've got a lot of questions, and I'll try to answer that one very quickly. It kind of depends, but generally your highest ones, you had Ra, you had Amun, and Ptah. Now, Amun and Ra could, combine. And again, it's a lot of this. If you read, history, you'll find that out. Now, Neith, the one that we're honoring tonight, she could also, in certain contexts, be seen as the highest one because she is the mother of everything. And so the things that we were reading earlier, were addressing her in that way. And who we honor on a particular week, it depends on what we find from ancient calendars. Again, we have to adjust to the month of, I think we're in the month of Paini, which is April through May. So you're converting calendars, but and different traditions will do it different ways. But what's on tap for this week? So that's who we honor in our service. So that's it for this week. Surf some videos, check the Kemetic Crossroads playlist, and we'll see you next week. Oh, and a wombat with tunes. Sarcastic. For wombat, let me go ahead and see if I can pull that in there. Let me go ahead and say that. So give me just 1 second. Okay, copy that. All right. And so wombat, here's that link. Yeah, and you guys are welcome to keep chatting afterwards. And by the way, the thing about the enemies, you have to understand the enemies are not going to be other gods. It's not about you can only worship this god. It's about who is threatening the peace and goodness of the universe, who is being destructive to truth, justice, in a Kemetic way. And I think you guys can continue the chat after I end the actual stream. So you guys are welcome to keep talking about that. So. Yeah, and all right. Well, good night, guys.